Here we are. Happy Monday, everybody. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube and you're watching on a replay, tell me #replay. Give me just a few minutes for people to jump on and for me to figure out what I'm doing. I am both on Facebook and YouTube. So we'll see how I do. Keeping an eye on comments and stuff. As I talk about things, if there's something that you want and you're watching on YouTube, Melissa's keeping track on both places. So whether you're YouTubing it or Facebooking it, I think we got you covered. Hi, Jackie. Hi, Vicki. How's my vision? It's okay. It's one eye is more clear than the other, but they say that's bound to happen and things will just keep getting clearer over the next I can try, Melissa. Let me see. Maybe that's a little better. My little stand that I have my Facebook feed on is pretty precarious, so I don't want to mess with it too much. Okay. There we go. Okay, Mary, Diane, Oriana, hello, Jean, Sherry working on a sweater. Yeah, everybody tell me what you're working on. Sally from Troy, the first time live, excellent. Hi, Brenda. Okay. I think I got things up and going now. Hi, Fran. Sometimes it feels weird when I don't have knitting in my hands, so at least I need to put something in my hands. So as you're popping on, tell me hi, tell me where you're calling from, I wonder where that, why that's stuck in my head, where you're watching from. It has to be like an old, Casey Kasem sort of thing, or Delilah. Back in the day when you'd call radio stations. Vicki working on your sweater, your Dingley Dell, awesome. Chris working on 2 toddler cardigans for Christmas gifts. Awesome, good. Nicole working your second sock. Very cool. Okay, so it's 7 o'clock, 7:02. So I will go ahead and get started. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is Monday, November 14th. And my name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in downtown Saginaw, Michigan, inside the SBRC Marketplace. I had a note that I was going to talk about holiday hours, but I didn't actually confirm what they're going to be yet for the day before Thanksgiving, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and then around Christmas and New Year's. So hopefully I'll have a note to myself to talk about that next week. Hi, Aunt Jackie. Joyce working on rosewood sweater, non-mirrored double knit scarf. Holy cow. I can't even figure out how that would work in my head, Joyce. I can't even grasp it. Okay. I did want to tell you all, I have something new to talk about at the very end. So make sure you hang out until then, or if for some reason you get pulled off and you're not watching live, go back to either Facebook or YouTube. They both will have the video posted after I'm done. So we can go ahead and get started. Mom working on ripping out a few rows of your pure local. Too much TV watching. So what should we talk about first? What I am knitting on is souvenir yarn. So I'm not going to talk too much about the yarn other than to tell you it's fingering weight yarn. This is one of the skeins that I got in California. It's kind of a pale gray with little purple and blue flecks. Victoria wanted a slouchy beanie hat. She has one that I made her out of Malabrigo, and I was just telling Melissa before I got on here. She uses it primarily when she gets out of the shower. If you've seen any of our Sunday posts, you know she's got real short hair right now. So when she gets out of the shower and her hair's wet, it wants to spike up. So she uses her slouchy hat to just slick everything back. I was thinking about it though, and the fact that it's a wool or a wool blend hat probably helps it dry pretty quickly. I bet that hat just kind of wicks up the moisture. So this one's a little bit big, but I'm hoping it won't matter if it will. If she doesn't like how big it is, I should have enough left over to make her another one and just keep this one for myself, which I'm all right with that too. So that's what I'm knitting on. What am I working on in the meantime? I made some pretty decent progress on my rear view window sweater. So this is a sweater by Casapinka. You may have seen on some social medias a photo. It's a really unique construction. It's knit side to side, meaning you start at one sleeve, knit up the sleeve, across the body, and back down. Diane, what slouchy pattern? I use the Sockhead slouchy hat. I believe it's a free one on Ravelry, and it has a bunch of different sizes. It's just a good straightforward hat. I've used it to make just a beanie too, and decreased because they have you do like 4 inches of ribbing and 8 inches of hat for the slouchy part, but you can easily enough just drop it down to make more of a beanie style, and it's a good formula as far as number of stitches, that sort of thing, and how to do the decreases. So I showed you last week what I picked for my colors, and we'll just kind of go over those one more time before I show you the work in progress. And I'm going to talk a little bit about mohair too, working with mohair. So these are the two colors that I'm using. It's a fingering weight held with lace weight or a mohair. So primarily High Ruth. The color is, this one is a single lot color, but it will be the color Swamp. It's very similar to the color Swamp from Malabrigo, which I got. I do have some up there. It's right there, I think. Yeah, Melissa loves mohair. So it's the two strands held together. And this is, of course, I'm in the middle of the row, but I'm going to talk about that for a second too. This is how far I've gotten. So I have a sleeve and almost all of the body done. So before I show you all, for those of you who have gotten some of the, like the pearl strings from me, they also make these little, it bugs me that she uses these shiny little packages, but these little, she calls them point protectors. So in a little envelope, you get a set of, I don't remember if it's 3 or 4 of these little guys, these little pieces of tubing. You can use them as point protectors. And I probably should get some of the bigger ones since I'm on size 10 needles. I don't know if this will work. We'll see. The beauty, you guys, of mohair though, is if my needles fall off, it's not going to go anywhere. It's pretty sticky. So I could use it as point protectors, bend it over and put each end of the tube onto the tip of the needles. However, I want to show you guys this, but I'm in the middle of a row, so I should be able to connect these. Should be able to. We'll see how this goes. So I'm going to connect them. I should really have the larger ones. But then I should be able to slide. I apologize, you guys can't see this, but I can't really hold it up very well. It's too heavy. All I'm doing is sliding the stitches so I have my needles at the end of a row instead of the middle. And I'm at the end of one of the skeins of mohair, which is why I stopped in the middle of the row. I was going to, Mary Kay, no, you don't get a demerit. Yeah, I use it, I call it a connector too. I would have finished the row, but I was at the end of my skein of mohair, and before I wound one, I wanted to talk a little bit about the mohair in the hank itself. So now that I'm at the end of a row, maybe it's a little bit easier. So here's the back of it. This is what she calls the little rear view window. There's this little panel across the back. It's just some little eyelets. The front has, let's see what I can put behind it so you can actually see the beautiful lace. This is me being ever so formal. I'm sticking a piece of paper in here. There we go. Isn't it pretty? When I was knitting it, I wasn't quite sure what it was going to look like when it was all done, because my brain was thinking it's not tracking very well, but I really, really like how it looks. And again, you can see the stitches are going sideways. So I'm knitting this way. Started at the sleeve, at the cuff. Got the sleeve done, split for the cast on for the front and the back. So that will have to be seamed. The front and the back will have to be seamed together when it's done. I was kind of checking my, I know Melissa does, I think it looks like flowers too. I don't know if that was her intent. I got a little carried away this weekend with my mom and I chatting and knitting. I read the pattern wrong. I thought it said I needed 16 repeats of this lace in the middle, and that wasn't the case. Thankfully, I only had like 9, and I had to rip back a couple. But I'm really happy with the color combination. You can see, well, I can see right about here where I added a second skein of mohair. So the first skein was a bit darker, or a bit brighter actually with the blues. The second skein was more, I don't know, had more of the burgundy and the purple tones in it. Now I am ready to add the third skein of mohair and the third skein of fingering. So let's talk about, I bet I'll probably have this done for next week. We'll see. Knock on wood. I got a wood table here. I don't want to jinx myself. So mohair, if you, with any yarn that you buy, if you buy it from us at the store, we are more than happy to use our Swift and our winder to wind it into a ball for you, into a, you know, little cupcake cake. Mohair sometimes can be tricky when they dye mohair in order to get the color intense and to take on there, it has to kind of be matted down or felted. So when you open up a hank of mohair, it kind of looks like this. It's like a big smashed mess. So how do you get from that into, if you're at home and winding it, into winding it so it is more likely to behave? I'm going to put it that way. I'm not going to promise that it will behave. But so this is the one that I started. I was going to put it on the Swift, and then I decided I would show you guys a little bit. You can see already it's a little bit fluffier. So what did I do? I opened up the skein. And the first thing is I put my hands in the middle, and I just kind of, like, if you've seen anybody who spins, they talk about like popping their yarn, and you do this and it makes little fuzzies fly everywhere. But what it does is it opens everything up a little bit more. Then I find a spot where it's more flat. Sometimes it's still all scrunched up like that. I find a spot where it's flat, and I kind of start just going along, smoothing it, finding areas where maybe it's folded over on itself a little bit and I can straighten it out. Sometimes this works better than others, you guys, but I will say over and over again, taking an extra minute or two to make sure that my skein is set when I put it on the Swift makes I have fuzzies all over my face now. Makes a big difference. It really cuts down on the amount of time I spend having to hand wind a skein of yarn because it's one little strand got caught over something else. So this is now more open, less compressed than its little partner here, and much less likely to give me problems when I put it on the Swift afterwards. So something to keep in mind. But again, you buy anything from us, you want us to wind it, we're happy to do it. There's not a fee for that if you buy the yarn here. So yeah, I know. Melissa's laughing at me. As long as I don't get it in my eyes, I'll be fine because I'm not allowed to rub my eyes. And Diane, thanks. So I'm excited to finish that. I'm almost done with the body of it, and then I have a sleeve and it'll be done. So that's primarily what I'm knitting on right now. I finished, and I was hoping to have buttons on it, but I don't. I finished a small cowl called, what's it called? The Molly cowl. I have this in a sheet protector, but I think that gives me problems here. So the Molly cowl is, show it that way. There we go. Just a little one skein. Well, it's designed to be one skein of Malabrigo Rasta, which is 150 gram skein. Oriana, if you are still watching, I'm curious to know what size needles you used for yours. I took a skein of Rasta in the color Yo-Yo, which I love this color. Look at all of those speckles in there. And it says that you can use either a size 17 or a size 19 needle. I used a 17 because I tend to knit loosely. Turns out maybe I don't, because it's, even having blocked it, it's not as big as I wanted it to be. So what I'm struggling with, I'm going to take this one off for a sec. What I'm struggling with is that it's not, it would have to be pretty snug to put a couple buttons along this side. Sorry, my Facebook people, there we go. Isn't it gorgeous though? It's fairly short. So to put a couple buttons along this side would be pretty snug. So one for the, there you go. What would I recommend? I would recommend going up a needle size. The difficulty is if you're a tight knitter, I would say go higher than a 19, but once you get beyond a 19, I think the next one is like a 30. There's a pretty big jump there. Or using two skeins would get you obviously more length, but I love this color. Oh, it's upside down. Not that you can really tell. If you wanted to knit this, not as a cowl, but just as a straight scarf, two skeins would get you a beautiful scarf, and it's completely reversible. Very, very easy. So Diane said she needs some, so that is prompting me to say, if you see something you want, put it in the comments, either on Facebook or on YouTube. Melissa keeps track of that for me. Just say how many you need, the color you need, whether you'll pick it up or have us ship it to you. And I'm happy to do either one. So one skein would get you that small, fairly snug cowl using 17s or 19s. I think if you went up Again, I think if you went up, you could get it out of one skein. 2 skeins for sure would get you plenty to do this project or another. So this color is, man, I wish I could aim that down a little bit more on Facebook. I'm sorry, you guys. Is the yo-yo. I grabbed some of the other newer colors that I got though, because there are some beauties in there. Immortal. Some of these have been in other weights of yarn, but I haven't had it in the Rasta before. So Rasta, they're 90 yards and 150 grams. They're $24 a skein, 100% merino wool. So this green is just, look at this. It's got some blue in there, lights and darks. So that's Immortal. This is another new one, Boomerang. It's like a brighter, more teal and turquoise version of Yo-Yo, the one that I used. So this one's got greens, burgundies, some dark blues, that beautiful turquoise color. For somebody who wants something a little more muted, this one's a single lot, but I know I have a couple of them, just this deep gray, like a slate color almost. Again, if you guys jumped on late, for those of you that jumped on late, make sure you stay till the end, because I do have something exciting that just came in a box that I'm going to talk about at the very end. So it's sitting off screen here, just tempted me. Verde Azul is a new one, which I'm pretty sure just means green blue. But that's what it is. It's a green blue, but it's like a deep oceany kind of color. It's not a bright greenish blue. One of the more popular ones that I have to order frequently, Talisman. Purples. I know some of you like your purples. This one's kind of the purples and the burgundies. For those of you that like the warmer colors, this Laguna Negra, it's just these gold, brown, cream tones. I have knit hats out of this, and it just, in the skein, it just doesn't do it justice. It's just such a cool color. And what's the last one I grabbed? Marte. And this is just like rusty, I don't know, rusty car, but in a good way. Just these dark tones. There is some kind of like a blue in there, but these deep oranges, brownie oranges, rusty colors. So for those of you who are local and are interested, I have a lot more colors of Rasta than that. These are just some that I kind of pulled that are newer colors to the shop that I thought might be interesting to some people. I see kind of a theme with what I've got going on here. If you look at the yo-yo that I just used and the sweater that I'm working on right now, I'm kind of in the, I have lots of purpley stuff to talk about today. Ruth, I do not have pom-poms. I have had a difficult time sourcing them, other than there's a gentleman out of New York who does real fur pom-poms, but they run $30 to $40 a piece, and it just doesn't seem like something I would have a high demand for in the shop. So I've not reached out to him for that. Okay. Sorry, my throat was getting dry. So we didn't talk about what I was wearing. before I put it back on, I'm trying to get better about representing the crocheters and the knitters. So this is a crochet scarf. It's similar to, a lot of knitters will know the workday scarf is I think I have one. Then I can kind of show the comparison. Okay, so the knit version, workday scarf. Starts with one skinny end, increases halfway, and then decreases down again. You kind of have this little scallopy edge. The crochet version that I found is called Hug for a Long Commute. Same sort of thing. You start with a narrow end. The original pattern is written for a bulkier yarn and a bigger hook, obviously, but I dropped down to a size H hook, used one skein of this Uluru rainbow, which is interesting that this is what I'm talking about, because Josie mentioned it, I think last week in reference to another pattern that we were talking about, but this Uluru rainbow, and the color I used is Tasmanian Devil. They come in these donuts. I'm not a big fan of these donut style yarns. But you can see it's got all of these different tones in there. This is the color that I use. So there's a little bit of kind of a purpley brown that goes to more of the reds and the purples. I don't know if every skein will, hi Christina. I don't know if every skein will mirror itself the way this one did. I should have done more projects with this yarn to know, but it takes one skein, size H hook. The yarn runs $14.99 a ball or a skein or whatever we're going to call it. I have, I think, 5 in this color. So you could really, if you're a knitter, you could knit the workday scarf and get that same kind of the big halo-y fuzzy look. I would go up a needle or two because of the fuzziness of the yarn. But if you're a knitter, I would do the workday scarf. If you're a crocheter, I would do the Hug for a Long Commute. And you get that same sort of look. I have one lonely skein of this other beautiful color called Cape Hillsborough. And it kind of looks like it's the same from the outside, but do you see what's going on in there? That pretty purple, it's got blues and greens. This one would be a lot more colorful, definitely. Again, I don't know if they typically mirror the way this one happened to turn out. So again, you see something you want, put it in the comments, let us know. Christina finished a crochet, they're calling it a snood, and I was going to kind of look up with like, okay, what is a snood actually, the definition of, and I have no idea. But it's a tube that basically looks like a cowl. Malabrigo is coming out with a new crochet. I don't know if it's an actual book or a booklet that has a few different patterns in there. But I had asked Christina to work up a sample for me, and it takes 3 skeins of Malabrigo Rios. This was the Medusa color, which is one of the new ones. I just got in not that long ago. This purpley speckle. Again, apparently I'm on a purpley kind of speckly kick, but it gets a little bit wider down at the bottom, and it's big enough. If I didn't have my earbuds in, I would demonstrate a little bit, but it's big enough to pull on, and then you could actually pull it up like a hood if you got cold. But it's not heavy. So this one's not out yet, this pattern, but I still wanted to show it. I think it looks really cool. I love the way the yarn works up, and it looks like it's knitted, you guys. It looks like kind of this eyelet knitted design, but it's not. It's crochet. And my mom finished a little baby dress that I had to show off. A wide ring of knitted material worn as a hood or scarf. There we go. Why wouldn't they call it a scood instead of a snood? A scood would make more sense. So I didn't finish a whole lot this weekend, but Christina finished that snood. My mom finished this adorable little baby dress. Look at this thing. Look at how cute it is. Our agreement was I could take it and show it off to everybody if I finished putting the buttons on and weaving in ends. So I didn't have a chance to wash it or block it, but this is the little Clementine dress. It's so stinking cute. Look at, do you see this little pocket? It has a little pocket. You can see on the inside, it uses that stripy color. It's designed for 2 solids to use and to stripe the body and then use a solid up at the top. But mom had a great idea to use the bamboo pop sock. One of their self-striping, obviously this is not the same one, but one of their self-striping colors for the body of the sweater, and then just a coordinate for the top body of the dress. So we have these little cute little pearl buttons. Look how sweet they are. And I believe it comes in different sizes, but this yarn, obviously it's a little baby girl dress, so I kind of pulled some girly colors, but this blue, these different blues are gorgeous. And I think if you did it out of one, if you did it all with a self-stripping yarn, you could easily get away with just one ball for this little size. Calls for fingering weight yarn. What I like about the bamboo pop sock, besides how it feels, this is the same yarn that I did my summer trellis sweater out of, the white one. I love that they give you a picture on the inside of what the yarn's going to knit up like. Obviously, depending on how many stitches you have on whatever you're working on, that will make the stripes narrower or wider. But there are some pretty, I just pulled a few different ones. So this one is waves, this blues. This one is Riptide, and it's kind of like purples and like a pale gray blue. That one's the same thing. This one's Breeze. It's a little bit brighter, more of a light gray, light purple. It's got that pretty, like a spring green in there. Lots of different choices. So whether you like the baby dress idea or you like the idea of doing a summer top, this yarn works so well for a lot of those. Used to smell on so on snaps for them. Oriana, that makes a lot of sense. She's talking about the bulky Rasta cowl that I spoke about earlier. Yeah, I know the original designer used some of those the toggle style buttons that you could poke right through. That was one of the things I was thinking about was it doesn't actually have you make any buttonholes, so having buttons that are the right size. I also thought about just stitching it together so you would have to pull it over your head instead of buttoning and unbuttoning. So I may have something new to report on that next week. We'll see. So, and all of this stuff I lost on my notes here. Talked about that. We talked about that. Baby dress. Last week I showed off the September. Oh, and I think I was calling it October last week. Now I'm calling it September, but November. The November Dreamin' Color Smushy with Cashmere Club color is this gorgeous, gorgeous gray purple. And they put together these kits for the Midsummer Night. I am not saying it the way it's written because I cannot pronounce Danish. I'm not Danish. I can't pronounce that. But the kits come with 2 hanks of mohair and 1 4-ounce skein of Smushy with Cashmere in their November club color. Any that have the gold labels are some of their exclusive colors. So I've gone through everybody that pre-ordered that is part of the pop-up club, made sure they got what they wanted out of it. And I have 5 of these kits left. So they're $73. We will include the pattern in that. So the pattern, if you don't remember from last week, here's what it looks like. This one is done with the actual colors from Dream in Color. So you have a little bit better idea of what it's going to look like. It looks huge. Use size 6 needles. But essentially you've got like 800 plus yards of yarn that you're knitting with. So I've got a couple of those left, 5 of those left. And I know people had some interest in the previous months. I wanted to mention I have 3 September and 1 October left. I don't know how I have an October left because it's this beautiful tealy, dark tealy color, which incidentally looks awesome with September. So this one, this peachy one is September. The dark teal one is October. I have 1 October left. These are $35 a piece. And I have 3 of the September. Those 2, I really, really, really like these together. This is the downside of getting club colors though, because I look at this and think I would make, what would I pull? I would pull a purple with these 2 and make a, either an All Point South or a Magical Thinking, one of the Casapinka 3 skein over the head shawls. I love those patterns, and this would just be gorgeous with that. However, if it's yarn I can't get in the shop again, I don't want to make a sample with it because everybody wants what they see. Plus, I don't want to take it out of the hands of some other wanting knitter or crocheter that would love it in their curated collection. Let's say that. Diane, I will double check. I believe I set some aside for you. If not, if you want me to set one of those aside for you, I can as well. Okay, so that was the Smushy with Cashmere. We talked about the mohair. Okay, so I might have to dig them out, but a few months ago, Melissa and I went to Chicago. Some of you may remember, and we went to H&H Americas, which is a trade show for retailers for fabric and yarn based businesses. And I pre-ordered some things, and all of those things have been coming the past few months. The most recent one was the Chaigu yellow set of 9 to 14 inch interchangeable needles. They may not go down to 9 inches. Might be 10 or 11 inches to 14 inches, but small circumference. The last thing that I have been waiting for has finally arrived, you guys. This was a surprise to me. I did not expect when I came into the shop today for a box to be waiting here for me. All of the sets that I pre-ordered, all the sets that I ordered have been spoken for as pre-orders from just when I posted about it before. But I wanted to show it off because what they are sort of saying now, what Chaigu is sort of saying is that once they get through fulfilling all of the shop pre-orders, they will begin to take orders again. So if you weren't able to get in on this run, but you're interested in the next one, let me know and I will keep track of that list. So, oh, Kathy, you picked a good time to join. I'm taking it out of the package. It was in this beautiful, just very nice white envelope. Faux leather, really heavy duty zipper. And oops, this one's on a little piece of elastic. There we go. Now it's back in place. Look at how just streamlined, classy, beautiful this set looks. It's just gorgeous. So this is the Child Goo Forte set. They were, the pre-order price for them was $300. My guess is that may be going up a little bit once I'm able to get them back in stock again, because their production costs were a bit higher than they originally anticipated. So it comes with needles size 2 through size 15. This little piece here is like snap magnets that comes off. It's marked. I don't know if you can see up along the top. It's marked with all the different sizes, front and back. Good points. These needles are made with African blackwood, which is recycled, upcycled maybe? What would you call it? It's made from the cast-offs from band instruments. Sorry, you guys, I just lost it there for a second. Each of the needles is marked. I'm sure you won't be able to see that, but each of the needles is marked on the metal part with what size it is. The tips are good. Just in pulling this one out, one of the reasons it took them a little bit longer to get these to us was because they want everything to be perfect. They are so lightweight because of the wood centerpiece. You can't feel any sort of seam where the metal and the wood meet. In addition to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different needle sizes. You get some of their newest little gadgets. So you get one of their small, this little 2-inch needle gauge. Look at how cute that little guy is. I think it's 2-inch needle gauge. Millimeters, centimeters, 3 inches. There's a pair of scissors in here. There is a tape measure in here. There is a little tin with all of your, like your tools, your end caps, your keys. The zipper compartment. Let's see, what does this one have? There's a little zipper compartment there that doesn't have anything in it, just for storage. The zipper compartment over here has all of your needles. The Forte sets come with all the cords are their new Swiv 360 cords. So you get 3 of the cords with the smaller connectors, 3 of the cords with the larger connectors. It's a beautiful set. I mean, just the case and the way it's made, the way it looks, it's pretty impressive. Oh, there's another little pocket. So there's a little pocket here that actually had something in there. I literally opened the box right before I got on, so I haven't had much of a chance to look at anything. So what does it say? Special edition Forte interchangeable set. Several years and much thought have gone into this design. Forte tips are an elegant combination of sleek stainless steel and luxurious African blackwood. Due to its metal-like working properties, stability, and lustrous surface, African blackwood is considered superior for the use of making woodwind instruments, and now also Chaigu knitting needles. We are proud of our new advanced silver Swift 360 cables. And then it just kind of goes through everything that's in there. So, Josie, if you're asking cord lengths, okay, cord lengths are 24. Well, they're to make 24, 32, and 40-inch needles. So it would be 14, 22, and 30-inch cords, the way that Chaigu normally puts them. They will still be interchangeable with any other Chaigu cords you have. If you have the red ones, if you have the plastic spin cords, or I have been trying to keep in stock the individual Swift 360 cords. So there's the little snap that's not really a snap, but it's a magnet that goes on there. And that clicks right into place. You get a pen in there too. Looks like it's also made with the African blackwood, but I'm not sure. So again, anybody that prepaid and pre-ordered these, they will start shipping as soon as I am in here on Wednesday, if you paid to have them shipped to you. If you weren't able to get in on this one, my guess is it's probably going to be after the first of the year before I get before I'm able to get any more in stock. I will have a set here at the shop for you to look at if you're interested, if you are considering it. Think about if it's something you would splurge on for yourself. If it's around $300, might be a little bit more. Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, I mentioned this last week, and the week following that, I run my gift card sale. So I don't put any restrictions on what you use your gift cards for. I don't put any restrictions on what you use those. The fiber funds that you get to spend in January, what you use those for. So you could use all or some of what you purchased for gift cards for yourself, or had people purchase for you toward pre-ordering some of the needles. I'm not quoting a price or taking money from people yet. I want to find out a little bit more information before I do that, but I'm so excited. I'm glad they said that they have enough materials to still make a few more sets after they're done fulfilling the pre-orders, because I feel like I might need a set in my life. And actually, I do not own a full set of Chaigu needles, other than like the little twist shorties I have. Most of my kits are Knitter's Pride kits, and I have a lot of individual tips and cords for Chaigu. But I don't actually have a set for myself. So I think I need one. I think it's kind of I think I need one. So super exciting. The gift cards. Okay, so starting Black Friday and going for the week through the week following, for every $50 in gift certificates that you purchase, you get a bonus $10 fiber fund to spend in January. The fiber funds work like Kohl's Cash. So they're good all the month of January. The only thing they can't be used for are consignment items or something else, something small like that. Otherwise, you can use it on sale stuff. You can use it on pre-ordering the needles. And you don't have to buy, like, if you want to get $200 worth of gift certificates for yourself, you are more than encouraged to do that. You don't have to get 4 separate certificates. You can get one $200 gift certificate and you'll get $20, $30, $40 worth of fiber funds to spend in January. Our standard gift certificates don't ever expire, so you can use those little bits here and there, whatever, our system tracks it. So as long as we know who purchased it and who it was for, we should be able to look it up in the system at any point. And last year I was able to set something up. So there was a checkout link online that you could send to friends and family. I'm going to try and do that again this year if it's not local, but you know, remind your loved ones that a gift certificate to the yarn store is never a bad idea. You can never have too many of those. Okay. I think that was the last of all my exciting stuff for the night. I can't stop staring at that set of needles. I may have to take the display set and try some out just so I can, I mean, I have to have an accurate representation of how I feel about the needles, right? I can't just be willy-nilly about it. Let's see what else. I haven't talked about any small businesses because we didn't really do a whole lot this week. V and I didn't go out to coffee yesterday. The Iron Dragon pastry guys are doing really well. I saw that they posted that they're doing pre-orders for holiday pies. If that's something that you used to do with Rebecca, that is something that they are offering as well. And for, yes, Brenda, exactly, quality control. Black Friday and Small Business Saturday, quite a few of the vendors in the marketplace are running specials. So I know Thrive Creative Innovations is Purple Sage Beads always does a gift card sale. I think she does a percentage off your gift card purchase. Beauty and Beyond is doing like putting little kits together of things discounted. So there will be a lot going on. So if you have time, if you're not into the crazy Black Friday crowds, come hang out in here. Or if you go early Black Friday shopping and then you can come and tell us all the good deals you got and then shop in here or come hang out with us. All right. I think that's it for the evening. I hope everybody has a good Monday night and a good week. And if I don't see you here in the shop sometime in the next week, I will see you all right here next Monday at 7. All right. Let's talk to you later, guys.